Hey, Kings fans, I am Jesse Cohen. This is a morning skate update. I'm doing this from my home, not from the practice facility, mainly because morning skate this morning was incredibly quick. I was at the facility for less than 20 minutes. There's not much to say, but I want to get in the habit of doing these, especially when the team's at home, because I won't be able to do them when they're on the road unless I find a way to travel follow the team around. Obviously, the team's not going to pay for me to do that, so I got to figure something out. So as long as they're home, I'm going to do these. Today, I'll give you the information that I could glean from 20 minutes of watching an optional morning skate, and then I'll explain to you why there wasn't much to see and why I turned around and went home after 20 minutes. So morning skates are generally scheduled at 10:30 in the morning for a 7:30 start time for an evening game, and they're scheduled for about half an hour. And if it was a full participation morning skate, you might get a sense of who was in the lineup, who wasn't, and you might get a chance to talk to the coach or talk to any of the players, ask who the starting goalie is, that sort of thing. For an optional morning skate like the one there was today, I think maybe there were 6 or 7 guys on the ice, including goaltender Darcy Kemper, which suggests that Anton Forsberg will get the start tonight against the Florida Panthers at Crypto.com Arena. So we don't know that for sure, but I mean, all signs point to Anton Forsberg getting the start because, like I said, Darcy Kemper was on the ice this morning. Warren Fogle was also on the ice in a red no contact jersey, so that status quo is maintained. Warren Fogle still skating in a red no contact jersey, which means he's not his return is not imminent. Alex Turcotte was on the ice. Brant Clark was on the ice. Joel Edmondson was on the ice. I believe I heard somebody else say Yoel Armia was on the ice, though I didn't personally see him with my own 2 eyes. Um, so in a situation like that, when you show up as an independent media member, or as a dependent media member, I suppose, PR will come out and ask around and ask if anybody has any players that they'd like to speak to, that they'd like to talk to. And if I were writing a profile on one of the players that happened to be on the ice, perhaps I would have asked for a chance to talk to one of them. But since I'm not, I didn't want to be the one responsible for making one of the players either leave the ice early or stick around any longer than they had to. And given that we could tell from who was on the ice who the starting goalie was, there didn't seem to be any pressing questions to ask Jim Hiller. Jim Hiller spoke to the media yesterday for more than 10 minutes, and a number of questions were asked to him about the game tonight against the Florida Panthers. A number of questions were asked to him about the game Tuesday night against the Winnipeg Jets. So any pressing questions that needed to be asked to Jim Hiller were probably asked yesterday. And again, everybody who works for the team, game days are busy days. There's meetings that have to take place. The coaching staff, the training staff, the players, they all have stuff to do before they head home, before they start to get into their routine. So I don't like to be the one to say, no, you know what? I'm here. So Jim Hiller has to talk to me for 5 minutes to tell me that, a lot of speed on the outside and we need to take fewer penalties and all the repeated phrases. Like, we all know what he's going to say and we all know what has to change. And so unless there's a breaking story or a pressing matter, if Warren Fogle had been out there in a non-red contact jersey, there would have been something to talk about. We could have asked, when might he return? What's the timeline? What has changed? If it had been a full skate and we saw that the lines, were lining up differently or the pairs had shuffled, there'd be something to ask. But after a 3-0 win on Tuesday against the Winnipeg Jets, I imagine the lineup will be identical. We know they have to take fewer penalties. We know they'd like to have more goals early in the game. We know the power play is still struggling despite the power play goal Kevin Fiala scored against Winnipeg. So just personally, I've said this before, but I have always viewed media availabilities kind of like a blackjack table in that it is a team sport in my mind. You could, if you wanted to, make it all about yourself and demand that, everybody speak to you and everything, but it doesn't seem right to me. And, maintaining positive relationships benefits everybody in the long run, the organization, the media, the fans, because if I go in there and I demand that Jim Hiller speak to me for 3 minutes and stop whatever he's doing to come out and answer 2 questions just so that I can say I did it, I become a pain in the ass. He doesn't, he views me as a pain in the ass. He's less likely to bail me out when I ask a bad question in the future. So I hope that's insightful. And if you ever have any questions about, how things operate or why things happen in the media, feel free to ask, because I'm perfectly happy now to discuss the thought process that goes behind how some of these things happen. And this morning, particularly in LA, I don't know how it works in other markets. Obviously, I've only ever lived in this one, but this morning, for example, Alex from the Sporting Tribune showed up for morning skate. I was there for morning skate, and that was it for the media. I'm not sure where Alex lives, but that, Josh Schaefer and John Kelly were there, and Jared Shaffrin was there, but and Daryl Evans is always there. But I mean, there was not like a load of media standing around clamoring for questions or anything, and that's generally speaking how it goes in LA. There's not a huge media contingent, and the practice facility is in El Segundo. And anybody who's ever tried to travel to the South Bay on a weekday morning knows that you can get here fine. Maybe getting out can be a bit of a nightmare. So if you don't happen to live in the South Bay, showing up for a 10-minute optional morning skate and then no availability, no open room, nobody in the room, and no comments from the couch, it's not worth your time. I happen to live very close to the practice facility. I happen to be committed to this process, and so I'm happy to go do it. And so that's part of the reason I'm committed to doing these. And I hope that you guys enjoy them, and I hope that you stick around and help me to deliver the answers that you want. So sorry, to finish the thought I was having earlier. If you do have questions about how the media availabilities work, or practices, or morning skates, or any of that, you can text those questions in 323, not 818, 323-628-1008. Or you can email me, kingsmenpodcast@gmail.com, or you can hit me up on any social media platform that you know that I'm on, which is most of them. I'm on Twitter, Instagram, Blue Sky. I have a TikTok account. I think I have a Snapchat account, though I haven't used it in years. It's Kingsmen Podcast, I think, across all platforms. I think maybe on Facebook it's Kingsmen Pod Host. But basically, if you can find me and you have a question that you want answered, fire it off to me and I will try and answer it. And people have given me suggestions about content topics they want covered in podcast episodes, and I will take those under consideration. Speaking of which, if you want more of me, and I don't know why you wouldn't, I do a podcast with Cameron Gauntz called Hybrid Icing. We have 2 episodes out so far. Cameron is great. I think Cameron's fantastic. He's a former professional hockey player. He played in the NHL. He played in the AHL. He played overseas. And so gives us an excellent opportunity to find out what some of the thought processes are behind professional hockey careers. And recently we talked to his dad about the draft. His brother is also in the NHL, Cameron's brother, that is. So had a chance to talk to his dad about what it's like to have 2 sons go through the draft process. So Hybrid Icing, the Royal Half Radio post-game show. There will be more coming, working on a lot of different projects. But again, always happy to take your thoughts and ideas. A fan came up to me at the last game and suggested that they want a Where Are They Now segment. So we will be doing more historical features about the history of the game, because I know that a lot of fans love the team, but maybe don't know a lot about it before they started following. And thanks to the success in 2012 and 2014, I know we have a lot of new fans, and I know a lot of the older fans enjoy some of the older information. So that's just to say there's going to be a lot more coming. So eyes and ears open, Kings fans. This is all well, it's not all for you. Some of it's for me too, but all in service of Kings fandom. So that's going to wrap it up for the morning skate. All feedback is welcome. Let me know if you're enjoying it. And we are going to do a post-game show tonight following the Panthers game. It'll probably be between 10:45 and 11, because I will go down to the locker room and I will go to the media availability for Jim Hiller after the game. As soon as those are done, I will scoot upstairs to the press room, set up my laptop, and bring the post-game show that we do independently from the press box. So hope you enjoy it. Hope you watch it, and go Kings go.